So section 2, we're going to sit down with Juliette Harancot, which is our senior account manager, and we're going to talk about the all-important visas, residency cards, and all of the things that are going to make your journey in relocation successful. Without any further ado, let's go and have a chat with Juliette. So, Juliette, how to qualify for a residency is one of the questions that's coming along, and I guess we've already covered topics of visa beforehand, but just to remind everyone that visa requires an application in the country in which you're living in or hold a passport in, requires you to have enough funds to show that you can provide for yourself minimum wage in France, which is roughly 1,400 euros a month, times 12 in a bank account liquid, plus, of course, if you have children, 20% per child.
More is better, but
More is better. That income requirement is then followed by a private medical policy.
Yes.
If you're British,
S1.
an S1 can work, but we probably recommend private initially. And if you're from anywhere else in the world, all of these applications are always subject to the same scrutiny. So income, proof of medical insurance, proof of somewhere safe to live.
Exactly.
Think of it of applying for a mortgage, guys. It's like you need to show your best self over the last 3 months, essentially, before you go and apply for your application. And then you have to do it all again for residency, pretty much.
It's exactly the same.
It's the same, but there's things like translations need to be done, right?
Not all the time. Depends of the prefecture and depends also of which type of document we send to them. So that is in the case you renew your visa, the same type of visa. You just need to show exactly the same. So proof of insurance. And if you are part of the French healthcare system, you do not need to renew your health private insurance for the second year. Proof of income and proof of address in France. But if you apply as European spouse, so you need to prove your relationship, of course, with the person, with the European person, and also health private insurance or S1, address in France, and income, or in any case, prove you have a financial stable situation.
So let me unpack that because there's a lot of information there. You're used to it. For people that are viewing that have never done a visa application or residency application before, what are the key documents that you're asked for? So just one by one.
In fact, the same, exactly the same as the visa.
Marriage certificate, birth certificate.
They can, they can too. They need to understand the past, but it's not.
Change the name.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not an obligation.
Bank statements.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a French bank, though.
No, it doesn't.
Has to be liquid funds.
And it's in that case, sometimes they ask for translation.
If it's written in English.
Yeah, not every time, really. Some prefecture, they do the effort to understand if it's in English. If it's other language, we can anticipate to have a translation. So, yeah. So
let's assume that if it's not French or English, probably you're going to definitely need a translation.
Yeah, for any document generally, if it's not French or English.
For every rule, that really there's a translation that's required once you become in France. But when you're in your own country, usually the consulate will approve in the language, at least in English.
Yeah, if it's not English or French, also I advise to have a translation.
Official translations, sworn translations. So again, the documents.
Yeah.
It's going to be birth certificate, marriage certificate, proof of income, pay stubs, pay slips.
Yes.
Bank statements.
Exactly. But bank statement is not an obligation for the residency. If you receive a pension and it's enough, you do not need to send your bank statements because they just ask proof of your income. They do not ask specifically your bank statement. You can choose if you receive a pension, if you just have money on your bank account. So savings, for example. So you can choose. And I advise to not send like too many information because it's a cost to do some translation, especially for financial documents.
Yep.
So if you send like 10 bank statements and they ask you to translate
all
10,
of them.
it's going to be very expensive.
So what we're saying, and this is where it lies the difficulty, we're all, and I've always been campaigning for people to say that you can do this by yourself. You can do these applications. Many people do. There's a lot of YouTubers and stuff that will now give information to do these applications yourself. However, there's, from what I understand, a lot of variation in the actual rules when it comes to your residency application. And therefore, it's not just as simple as these are the rules, these are the documents that you should bring.
Now, after the residency application, it's easy to do. To submit the application online, it's very easy. It's more the second part, which can be more difficult. If finally you do not receive positive decision before the expiration of the visa,
that's become stressful.
Exactly. And we know how to manage that. So we need to contact the prefecture to obtain like Prolongation attestation, which is just an extension of your rights. It's official. You can stay in France, but you need to chase the prefecture to make sure you receive this document in time. If you need to travel, this type of thing, it needs to be anticipated. And we cannot in advance define how many times the prefecture is going to take to treat your application. Depends of their volume of work, if it's big or small prefecture. They all have different organization. So yeah, just be careful of that.
That's the difficult part. So let's talk about buying a property. One of the things that you're going to have to worry about is transferring money to the notaire in France. That's when our partnership with Wise comes along. You're able to open up an account in just a few clicks, transfer money, hold currency, and also order your debit card and set up your direct debits, as well as just use it as pretty much everyday banking until you open up a high street French account. So why not try Wise? Go in the description box below and you'll find how to open up your account. But also, if you need any help, you can just reach out to a member of our team. Yeah. Okay, and so what's the prep timeline that we would advise? I mean,
between 6 and 5 months.
So you can't actually physically book the appointment until your visa is due to expire within 2 months?
For the visa or for the
Well,
residency?
I guess, yeah, the same goes for... So the visa, you can't book the appointment 3 months beforehand.
Exactly.
But you can completely start preparing. And that's where we would advise really people preparing at a minimum 6 months before they plan to leave.
In fact, it's already a stressful application. So it's better to do it in advance, to not be in the rush. We never know what can happen.
Yeah.
So if
the
you have...
accommodation side of things is often a difficulty.
Yeah. So if you have time, just do it in advance, honestly.
And for the residency itself, specifically going through the questions that our viewers have sent us, like 6 months preparation timeline is probably advisable. I would say that's... Yeah,
between 6 or 5 months, because we can apply 4 months before the expiration of the visa. We advise to do it because generally let time to the prefecture to treat the application. And we can start to collect the document, analyze the document, make sure everything is ready. Also for the picture, because we need to have a special picture. It's not only like for the visa, you come with your small picture, passport picture. You need to have a code. So we need to make sure you have the good picture, the good code, because we just enter this code online to make sure we have the picture. So yeah, we can anticipate all of these questions. Make sure we have everything correctly done.
And the question that's come up a lot, is what happens if I lost a document? So we had clients the other day that were born in Chile or, in the countries where it's just really difficult to get hold of the document, now live in the US but can't have their birth certificate, their original birth certificate. What happens then?
For the residency application...
Or if your name is different to what...
Yeah, so that can be an issue, honestly, because... France has one logic, and if you are not in that logic, that can be difficult. But honestly, I advise to write later to explain the situation. We could see very, very good result when we explain the situation, we explain the problem, we send some proof. For example, I don't know, we had the situation, a client, she was born in India, she didn't have her birth certificate, she's quite old, more than 90, so it's complicated to find her birth certificate. And we just wrote a lot of letter, solicitors later also to explain and confirm that. finally they accept it. So
Okay. So every case is unique, really. That's what we're saying. And you've got to learn to work around it. That's when it becomes difficult to do these applications alone. Translation requirements. Now, what we've got to explain is that it's only sworn translation. So if you do like a Google Translate,
it doesn't work.
That does not work, right? Okay. So it has to be a sworn High Court translator.
Absolutely.
Which we provide services for, and we do that, and that's part of our packages, right? Moving as a retiree from, one of the questions is, I think it's probably in reference to one of our latest YouTube videos, from Australia or from New Zealand. What are the differences? Well, there are none. I mean, if you're from America, Britain, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa,
exactly the same.
It's the same requirements, the same process. It's just maybe in your country you'll be dealing with a different entity. So to be clear, there are two private companies that contract to the French government in certain countries, VFS Global and TLS Contact, or you go directly to the embassy. It's one of those three, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But the process is still the same, theoretically.
Yeah, it's the same. Exactly.
And again, the same when you come to renew it. How long can you stay in France without residency? So this comes to the 90, 180 day rule.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a calculator on our website to do that if you want to calculate it. But essentially, that falls into the Schengen zone. You're allowed any 90 days out of 180 without any specific type of visa.
So it's just be careful at the moment you arrive in France, the first day. You can calculate 180 days, and you have 90 days on this period to come and go back. But
and you have to step out of the Schengen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Britain works, London, for instance. One other question that is language rules. We've covered that in the previous section of this podcast, but the language rules in general, I just want to make very clear that are only applicable if you are under the age of 65 and if you want to apply for specific types of multi-year visas. There is always an option to not have a language requirement rule, and there is never a language requirement on the initial visa application in your country of origin or in the place where you live. So people don't need to worry about that.
No.
Thanks for listening to this, guys. And as always, if you've enjoyed it, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It means more than you might think and encourages us to do more videos just like this. If you're looking to move to France and you've got questions that maybe you felt weren't quite answered by the topics in this video, you can just go to the description box below and you can schedule a call with either myself or a member of my team to discuss and make this move to France possible for you, or maybe just discover if it's actually an option, first and foremost. Again, thanks for liking, and please, if you want to or think that you know somebody that would like to move to France, go on and share this video.